night. It was a dark and stormy night, and Detective Mark Johnson was on the case of a serial killer who had been terrorizing the city for weeks. The killer was known as the Shadow, and he had already claimed 5 victims. Mark had been working tirelessly to find the killer, but he was running out of leads. Every piece of evidence seemed to lead to a dead end. But he wasn't going to give up. He was determined to catch the Shadow, no matter what it took. One night, Mark got a call from an informant who claimed to have information about the killer. Mark met the informant at a seedy bar downtown, and they sat down at a table in the back. The informant was a wiry man with a nervous energy. He looked around constantly, as if he expected the Shadow to jump out at any moment. "Okay, what do you know?" Mark asked, getting straight to the point. "I know who the Shadow is," the informant said, his voice barely above a whisper. Mark leaned in closer. "Who is it?" It's the mayor," the informant said, his eyes dotting around the room. Mark's jaw dropped. The mayor was one of the most respected figures in the city. He couldn't believe that he could be capable of something so heinous. But the informant had proof. He gave Mark a file filled with evidence linking the mayor to the murders. Mark couldn't deny that the evidence was compelling. He knew that he had to act fast. He assembled a team and they raided the mayor's office, seizing documents and evidence. The mayor denied everything, of course. He claimed that he was being set up, that someone was trying to frame him, but Mark knew the truth. The evidence was too strong to ignore. Trial was a media frenzy, with cameras and reporters filling the courtroom. Mark presented his evidence, and the mayor's defense team tried their best to discredit him. But in the end, justice prevailed. The jury found the mayor guilty on all counts, and he was sentenced to life in prison. Mark felt a sense of satisfaction as he walked out of the courtroom. He had caught the Shadow, and he had taken down one of the most powerful people in the city. But he also knew that there would always be more cases, more killers, more secrets to uncover. He was a detective, and it was his duty to protect the city from those who would do it harm. As he walked out into the night, the rain falling around him, Mark knew that he had found his calling. He was a protector, a hero, and he would always fight for justice. As Mark walked out of the courthouse, he felt a sense of relief wash over him. It had been a long and difficult case, but justice had been served. He couldn't wait to see the relief on the family's faces when he delivered the news that the Shadow had been caught. But he knew that his job wasn't done yet. There were always more cases to solve, more criminals to catch. He was committed to protecting the city and its citizens, no matter what it took. As he got into his car and drove off into the night, the rain pounding on the windshield, Mark knew that he would never stop fighting for justice. He was a detective, and he was damn good at it. The Shadow may have been one of the most elusive killers in the city's history, but Mark had caught him. and that gave him a sense of pride and accomplishment that he knew he would carry with him for the rest of his life. The city was safer now, thanks to his hard work and dedication. And that was all that mattered to him. As he drove off into the darkness, he knew that he had found his calling, and that he would always be ready to take on the next challenge that came his way.